Curious to know how much money you can make as an international student in Australia from the 1st of July 2023? Well, you have come at the right place. As in this video, I will explain you about how much potentially you can earn as an international student from 1st of July 2023 with an example, and also I will give you some key tips that will help you to increase your earnings as an international student. So if you want to know all this, make sure to stick around. So first thing first, let's discuss quickly about the work hour restrictions. As most of you are already aware that work restrictions are coming from the 1st of July 2023, which means that most of the international students can only work 48 hours per fortnight or 24 hours in a week. But if their course is in session, they can only work 48 hours per fortnight. And students can obviously work unlimited hours during their official school holidays. Obviously, there are few exceptions to this, with some graduate research students who are doing their masters by research or a PhD course don't need to follow these restrictions. And the students who are working in the aged care sector on or before the 9th of May 2023 can continue to work unlimited hours until the 31st of December 2023 in the aged care itself. Apart from this, everyone will have to abide by the work restrictions. Now, apart from these work hour restrictions, there's another changes that are coming in regards to work in Australia. That is about the minimum wage. So the minimum wage in Australia is also increasing from the 1st of July 2023. Currently, the minimum wage is $21.38 per hour, but that will be changing from the 1st of July. It will be $23.23 per hour from the 1st of July 2023. And both these things, hours and the minimum wage, are important to keep in mind when we will be doing some calculations a bit later on in the video. So keep these numbers in mind. Now, before I explain you with an example on how much you could potentially earn, I want to talk about some factors that will affect your earning. So there are a few factors that will come into play. The first one is availability of the jobs. Let's be honest, it has been a little bit of a challenge for international students to find a job in Australia over the last few weeks, especially after the February intake. There are many students who are reporting that they haven't been able to find a job as easily as they were finding it in the past, and that will obviously dictate how much money you could potentially earn, because if there are not many jobs available out there, then these potential earnings will obviously be impacted. The second one is the type of job. So it will depend upon the type of job you're doing. If you are doing a very highly skilled job, you're more likely to earn better pay. However, on the other hand, if you're doing unskilled job, chances are that you will get less pay or a minimum wage only. So the type of job will also dictate how much money you could be earning. The next one is your experience. If you already have some work experience in the industry you are going to work, well, the chances are that you will be earning higher wage. However, if you don't have any experience at all, chances are that you will be working on a minimum wage or on a lower pay. Last but not the least factor is the qualification or the certifications. So some jobs may require you to have certain qualifications or certifications. Let's take a very simple example. If you are working in hospitality as a kitchen hand, you don't really need any certification. However, if you want to work as a bartender in hospitality, you would need to have an RSA certificate. Sometimes even people take some other short courses as well in order to get better experience in the industry. So having those additional certifications and qualifications sometimes will help you to get a better pay. Now let's discuss the most important part of this video, which is about the calculation of potential earning. Now I want to give a quick disclaimer here that these numbers are rough estimates and it is based on an example. Your potential earnings could vary on lots of factors. Some of the factors I already discussed in the previous section. So without further ado, let's go and discuss these numbers. So let's take an example of a student named John. John is starting his course on the 1st of July 2023 and he has found a job in a local cafe at a minimum wage. So he's a very happy person at this moment as he has found a job and he's going to work the maximum amount of hours he can work in a week, and he's got a job at a minimum wage rate at least. On an average, as you know, he can work 24 hours a week. We won't be bothering too much with the 48 hour per fortnight. We're gonna keep it very simple. So let's take 24 hours per week as a base. Now, as you know, the minimum wage is $23.23 from 1st of July. So on a weekly basis, if you calculate these numbers, 24 hours times $23.23, that will leave John with $557.52. That's his approximate weekly earning. Now, if you want to calculate his monthly earning, which we're gonna multiply the weekly wage wage times 4.33. And some of you might be wondering why 4.33? Because if we divide 52 weeks by 12 months, we'll get that number. So if you do that calculation of $557.52 times 4.33, you get an approximate of $2,414.06. That is his monthly income. Now, if you want to calculate his yearly income, you can simply take that 557 figure again and multiply it by 52 weeks. Let's say he's working every single week of the year. So his annual income will be approximately $28,991. Just keep in mind that these numbers are before taxes. So you obviously will have to be paying taxes based on your income. By the way, if you want us to make a video on taxes as well, please let us know in the comment section below. We could make a video on that with an example like this. Just type in tax in the comment section below if you want us to cover that video, and we'll get that sorted very soon for you, hopefully in the next week itself. By the way, we are not done yet, because John was only working 24 hours per week throughout the year. But hang on, he could also be getting some holidays during his study period, and during the holidays he can work full-time hours. So in this scenario number 2, John is still working in the same job, still studying the same course, but he gets official 12 weeks of holidays from his school, and he has to study for 40 weeks during his study period. Now I've just taken example of these 12 weeks. Your holidays again could vary depending upon your institution. So please find it out from the place you're going to study about their academic calendar and the holidays you could have as well. So starting off with a similar sort of thing with 24 hours average per week and $23 minimum wage, he's still making $557. But now we will calculate this only for 40 weeks, because for the rest of the 12 weeks in a year, he can work full time. So taking an example of 40 weeks at minimum wage, which is $23.23, time it by 24 hours in a week, John is making around $22,300 for those specific 40 weeks. Now obviously in the 12 weeks he has holidays, he can work as much as he wants. But let's say he is just working full-time hours, which is around 40 hours. So for 12 weeks times 40 hours per week times $23.23, he's making around $11,150. And if you add both of them, which is your $22,300 for 40 weeks plus $11,150 for those 12 weeks, John is earning around $33,451. And if you translate that to weekly earnings, that will be around $643. And if you do the calculations again for the monthly earnings, that will be around $2,785. Will be obviously higher because he's working extra hours during his school holidays. But again, just keep in mind that these numbers are rough estimates based on a very specific example. Your earning could vary depending upon a lot of factors, and these numbers are before taxes and before any cost of living that you have to consider as well. Apart from taxes, you also have to pay your bills like your accommodation, your utilities, food, transport, and so on. So consider those things as well. We actually have a video on that which I will suggest you to watch after this video. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I will give you some specific tips that will help you to increase your earnings here in Australia as an international student. So let's go and discuss them. So the first one is finding a job that pays better than a minimum wage. See, the minimum wage $23.23 is very basic for most of the jobs. So that is what you expected to get paid at the minimal sort of thing with those unskilled jobs. So ideally, if you already have a job, don't stop searching for better jobs with a better pay rate. I have seen people working in hospitality itself for $30 per hour as well. So if you already have a job, please don't stop searching for better jobs after getting some experience. Or you can negotiate a better pay rate or hourly rate with your current employer as well after getting some experience. The second thing is to improve your skills and knowledge. So once you have got a job in specific industry, I suggest you to take some short courses that will help you to improve your weekly earnings. Obviously, after undertaking some short courses, you could be getting a better jobs. Like in case of hospitality, you could be doing an RSS certificate to improve your chances of getting a job as a bartender or working in a hospitality venue in general, or taking a course like a white card course which can help you to find jobs in construction industry. Obviously, in construction industry, the pay rates are much better. So I would suggest you to keep undertaking some short courses and keep improving your skills and knowledge. That will help you to improve your earnings. And one more thing, which is work additional hours during school holidays. So in the second scenario, I gave an example where John was working 40 hours in a week during his official school holidays. I'll suggest you to even work additional hours if possible. See, when I was a student, I was actually doing around 60 hours per week when I was on official school holidays. I picked up 2 jobs at 2 different places. I was pretty much working full-time hours during those school holidays. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should be working 60 hours per week, but you can certainly work more than 40 hours per week if you can handle that. And that's where I have a very important tip for you all as well. Now here I've got some personal word of advice for all of the international students watching this video. That work is very important. We all know that, and so as study. So it's very important for you that you should find a balance between all the 3 aspects of your life, which is working in Australia, studying in Australia, and living in Australia. So you need to balance and manage all these 3 aspects of life without neglecting one or the other part. Now, if you don't want to breach your student visa conditions and want to know exactly how to calculate 48 hours per fortnight, then I would recommend you to check this video that's coming up on screen right now. As in this video, I explain you step by step with an example as well how to calculate 48 hours per fortnight, and I'll see you there.